Well, let's move on to events in the Middle East. And Benjamin Netanyahu says that the UK's decision to suspend some arms sales to Israel is shameful. Posting on X, the Israeli Prime Minister said the decision will not change Israel's determination to defeat Hamas. Adding that Britain's misguided decision will only embolden Hamas, he said Israel is pursuing a just war with just means. He added, with or without British arms, Israel will win this war. The UK suspended 30 out of 350 arms export licences to Israel, saying there is a clear risk the equipment could be used to commit serious violations of international law. It follows a review by the Foreign Secretary David Lammy, who says the government had a legal duty to review all export licences. A Foreign Office document outlines the government assessment that informed this move, and it focuses on three key factors. Humanitarian, saying Israel has not fulfilled its duties to ensure essential supplies get to people in Gaza with insufficient levels of aid. Treatment of detainees, with a government assessment saying there have been credible claims of the mistreatment of detainees. And conduct of hostilities, saying it's not possible to reach a judgment on allegations about Israel's conduct due to mass casualties and difficulties in getting reliable information from Gaza. Well, UK arms sales amount to just 1% of Israel's defence imports, amounting to around £42 million in 2022. The suspended licences affect equipment like parts for fighter jets, helicopters and drones. The UK Defence Secretary says the move won't have a material impact on Israel's security and insists the UK remains a staunch ally.
Our determination to stand with Israel, to be part of the collective defence if they come under direct attack again, as they have done before, remains resolute and absolute.
Well, Britain's chief rabbi is amongst those who've criticised this decision. Ephraim Mervis said on X, it beggars belief that the British government, a close strategic ally of Israel, has announced a partial suspension of arms licences. He added, sadly, this announcement will serve to encourage our shared enemies. Well, I'm joined now by Sir Alan Duncan, a former Member of Parliament and UK Government advisor, member of the Conservative Party, of course, when active in politics. Sir Alan Duncan, thanks for being with us. What's your response to this announcement by the British government?
Not so much an advisor as a former foreign minister, actually, but it doesn't matter too much. I think the government has got this absolutely right. Indeed, I'm surprised that it wasn't done a long time ago under the Conservative government beforehand. I think probably what has happened is that the legal advice inside the Foreign Office and the Department of Trade is so clear that they cannot legally continue with some of these arms exports to Israel. And given what's happening with the use of arms, I think this is a proper thing to do anyway, because I think that Israel is out of control. I think that its response to October the 7th has been utterly excessive and indefensible. And so I think this is the right decision. And I hope that all leadership contenders for the Conservative Party will confirm that they adhere to international law and therefore agree with this decision.
Do you think it goes far enough? Because obviously you're a known, you've been known politically here in the UK for not being fully supportive of everything that Israel has done. I mean, how far do you think the UK government should be going?
Yeah, well, I think they should go further, and more than that, I'm quite a serious critic of what the Israelis have done. I think their conduct has been despicable for a long time. I mean, this is much more than about their excessive activity in Gaza, where we now see over 40,000 deaths, many of them children, women, and the complete destruction of their habitable space. I mean, what they've also been doing in the meantime, and I think there's been insufficient international condemnation of this, is they have raised their activity of colonization on the West Bank. So what you have is massive settler violence supported by the Israeli Defense Force, which is why I think there is an added element to the illegality of what Israel is doing, that on the West Bank, they are taking over their neighboring country's land. And what you have is settler violence. They're armed. They're bashing up Palestinians whose rightful land it is, and doing so with the support of the IDF, which means that, to all intents and purposes, you have state-backed terrorism in the West Bank.
Many would say that your position politically effectively plays into the hands of Iran and withdraws support for a key UK ally, which is important for, British national security?
I don't think that argument holds one jot. I think what really matters is a defence of international law. And I think I would suggest that whenever you are interviewing anybody, including a chief rabbi, to say, do you agree that UN resolutions which say that West Bank settlements are illegal mean that indeed they are illegal? And if they don't accept international law, you've got to throw back the question, well, who then is the extremist?
OK, so Alan Duncan, we will leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.